This is TWiT.
Hey, buddy, are you a geek? Are you a tech enthusiast? Then I would love to invite you to join a tech community like no other. You can gain exclusive access to our incomparable quality tech content for just $7 a month with Club TWiT. As a member, you'll enjoy all TWiT TV shows ad-free, plus access private video feeds for insider shows like Home Theater Geeks and so much more. Dive into the members-only TWiT Plus bonus feed for behind-the-scenes content, club discussions, and special events. But here's the best perk. Join our incredible Discord community to watch live show productions, chat with hosts, and participate in exclusive members-only activities. It's your backstage pass to the world of TWiT. Whether you're a tech enthusiast or a lifelong learner, Club TWiT elevates your knowledge while entertaining your interests. Get 2 weeks free when you sign up now for $7 a month and unlock unparalleled access at twit.tv/clubtwit. That's twit.tv/clubtwit. And from the bottom of my heart, thank you and welcome to the club. Hello, everybody, and welcome once again to the lovely photo segment with our dear friend Chris Marquardt, whom I have known since the beginning of the century now. Here we are in the, actually, we're about to enter the second quarter of the century, aren't we? That's kind of amazing. Hello, Chris.
Hi, how are you?
We've come a long way, baby. I am doing well.
2006.
Yeah. Chris, of course, longtime friend on the radio show. We do this photo segment on the radio show every week. Actually, it wasn't every week. Was it every week? It was every week
for years.
For years, like 19 years.
It kept switching around, yeah.
But it was always a 1 month photo assignment. And so that has not changed. And we thought we'd continue to do the assignments. As you can see, today's assignment is forgotten. I hope you didn't forget. Did you get a lot of submissions? I
still have the paper.
I love some of these wild submissions. These are great. A lot of forgotten stuff.
Yeah, I think we have like 22 people who participated. Great stuff.
So
Tough
as
choice.
usual, Chris has picked 3 from the multitude to focus on. And I have them right here on my screen, ready to go. If you would like to tell us what your picks are for this episode.
All right, so I've taken my time to go through all of them, and I had a really tough time, but the first one that I chose eventually was by Anthony Brown, titled Tractor Graveyard. So I like these kind of places. It's sort of a forgotten place. It's some place somewhere that is as it says in the name, a tractor graveyard. Old derelict tractors, and looks like hundreds of them there. So
it's really a pretty picture too. I know pretty is not necessarily what we're going for, but
well,
isn't it pretty?
Pretty. Define pretty.
Aesthetically pleasing. It's like I like the color here. You know?
That's the first thing that hit me straight on, because we have the orange tractors, and they all have an orange tint, so it looks like they are of the same brand or something. And then the one big complementary color in there is green. So we have this orange green contrast. Is that why I think
it's pretty?
It's a primary color contrast, red and green. And like the
Christmas.
fog in the back, and it's not very Christmassy, even though the weather is kind of Christmassy. It's
misty,
cold,
the misty mountains in the distance. I always like layers and distances in photos because it gives your eye something to do.
Not just that, the fog in the image becomes stronger the further away, because it's just more fog you're looking through. So it takes care of a messy background, which is often an issue with photos. So it clears up everything. It makes a nice clean slate to put everything else on.
It clears everything up.
Forgotten.
Isn't
Perfect.
that lovely? Oops, let's make this the big thing, and I'll be the little one. There we go. So there you go. That is picture number 1, and Tractor Graveyard. I love it. What is the second? image?
Second one by Thomas B. Take a Seat. So we're looking at a black and white, or not even black. It's a sepia toned kind of picture. The description says an old switchboard and chairs in a state of arrested decay in the Wheaton and Lures Hotel boarding house, Bodie Ghost Town.
Oh, this is Bodie. Bodie is a great place for photography. I have not, but and it might even be this guy. I've got a calendar of images from Bodie that is just gorgeous. And I've forgotten who sent it to me. He sends me calendars every year of his photos. Maybe this is him.
Possibly. There is some attraction in derelict places and photography. This really goes well together. And of course, this looks like someone has hastily left the scene. This one chair is half toppled over and an old switchboard. I mean, what's not to like about that? And the choice to make that a black and white or more monochrome picture. Again, it does have a bit of a warmish tone to it. So
I see some chromatic. I don't know if it's an error. There is a little color.
Maybe it's just so much dust that you don't see any color underneath.
Yeah. It may actually be a color photo. Wouldn't that be hysterical?
But the interesting thing is that the reduction in color palette, as with the photo before of the tractor, is really just two primary colors.
Yeah.
Here it's only just one primary color with a little tint of something in there, makes stronger pictures. It gives the eye more of the shapes to explore. The colors are not distracting. So, and then the choice of making this a bit of a gritty image, a bit of like an old black and white photo with a lot of grain in it. That works well.
Very nice. Yeah. Really nice.
Works for me.
All right.
And then,
that was picture number 2 from Take a Seat from Bodie, California. An old Radio Shack, I guess, old switchboard. Thomas B., thank you.
Looks like it. And then the last but not least is by Demi Lente, our special fans.
I've heard that name before, haven't I?
They are good. They are really good.
Really
so what we're looking at is the title is 68517 County Road 66, abandoned building on Route 66. And it is what it says on the tin. It's an abandoned building.
On Route 66. Yes.
Black and white photo.
Look at the sky. Oh,
that's the interesting part of it, because what you will do with a black and white camera is you put a red filter on it.
I was going to ask you about this because there's something kind of spectral about it that's interesting.
It's similar to what Ansel Adams would have done.
Yeah, it looks like an Ansel Adams, the richness of it.
You put a red filter on it. Now the sky is blue, and the red filters out anything that's not red, as in the blue, which is far away from red when you look at the spectrum of light, of colors in the light, and that brings the brightness of that blue all down and makes it
so
dark
pretty.
gray, almost black. And the clouds, of course, are not affected by that, so you get this really strong contrast in the sky.
Wow, that is a spectacular photo. And you said Demi Lente is more than one person?
I think there are a couple.
It's a couple.
I believe there are a couple.
The Demi Lente couple. And this was a 5D Mark IV shot at f11. You can't,
and of course, you can do these kind of things in digital processing as well. You can bring down the brightness of the blue sky.
True.
What I also like is just the general composition. We have a very classic, almost landscape composition. There's something strong in the foreground. This is this bush in the foreground, and then there's something in the middle ground, the buildings, and then there's the background with the little mountain range in the left back, and the sky, of course. So you have a very very strict depth layering and kind of 3 layers, which gives the eye something to explore, and it's cool.
I love the monochrome on this. It really does have that Ansel Adams feel. It's very rich. Yeah. Or a silver print or something. It's just got that richness of it's amazing how much tone you can get in a black and white photo.
Very true.
Very nice, Demi Lente. Very nice indeed. 3 excellent photos. Now, When we do that, I think we have to go back to the fishbowl now and select.
Are you talking about this contraption?
That guy right there.
The fishbowl is full of adjectives and I'm
fishes.
pulling out one.
All right, here we go. Your new assignment.
Drum roll. Oh, I like that one too. Intricate.
Intricate.
Focus camera.
Intricate. There we go.
Here we go.
Intricate. All right. So the way this works, you're going to, now this is an assignment. It's just an excuse to go out and take pictures. You know, I have to say, I was thinking, I always wait for like a special event or travel or something to take pictures. So it's nice to have an assignment. So you can go out where you've gone every day for the last 100 years and see it afresh, see it anew. So you're going to look for something to you that represents the concept, the word, the idea, intricate. Once you get an image that you think, hey, I like this, you can submit up to one a week. So you're going to have, I think we're going to be a month before we do the next one. So you'll have a month, 4 pictures you can submit. And then what you'll do is you'll submit it to the Tech Guy group on Flickr.com. Flickr.com. This is the Tech Guy group. It's free to join Flickr, although Chris and I have longtime pro members since 2007. It says actually the group's since 2007. That's how long we were on the radio show. 14,000 members in there, 7.8 thousand photos. So it's a good number. And as you can see, our wonderful moderator, Renee Silverman. Oh, wait a minute. Looks like you're the admin now. Did Renee retire?
No, I'm officially kind of still the admin, but Renee does all the things, and I sometimes update the titles with the link to this episode and stuff like that.
So when the wonderful Renee Silverman gets your submission, she'll acknowledge it, put it in the pool. Now, the way it gets in the pool is by its tag. One of the things Twitter did that then Flickr followed with is this hashtag thing. And you can see there's a bunch of tags on Demi Lenti's image, but the one that we care about begins with TG for Tech Guy, because this is the old Tech Guy group. And then the word that we're looking for here was TG forgotten. It's going to be TG intricate. TG intricate. And if you tag it that way, then Renee will say, "Oh, this is for the the assignment," and we'll put it in that pool, and then Chris will see it and he can pick it. Look at all the great shots.
By the way, for anyone who isn't sure about this, on the Tech Guy group, there's also discussions tab, which gives you like a little background thing, and that there's a lot of explanation in there. There are the old assignments in there with the pictures linked. So that's also a great resource. And
Chris will put the announcement of when he's going to be on, so that way you can find out. Because I know it's not always the same week, so that's a good way to figure out what week Chris is going to do his assignment update. Now, what's nice is, unlike the radio show, we got a little more time to talk. We have an hour every month to talk, which is wonderful. And one of my favorite subjects, yours too, probably, photography. We like to talk about photography news. Chris, what's up in the world of photography?
Well, yesterday iOS 18.2 dropped.
Yes. Have you been playing with it?
Absolutely, especially with the photography part of it, because there are a couple of changes in there. The first one is the Photos app was updated.
Let me go get my iPhone here. The Photos app was terrible.
I don't think so. I did not mind it at all, but a lot of people were kind of unhappy about it. So
I had a hard time finding favorites, and that was
changed around a lot of things.
That's the problem.
So,
change is bad. Yeah.
So they have a few things in there. And by the way, before we go into the changes, if you scroll all the way down in the Photos app, there is a button called Customize and Reorder.
Ah, at the very bottom there. So that's what you should be looking at. Okay.
Tap that. And now you can put your favorites where you want them. You can turn off sections you don't want to see. You can pretty much bring that almost back to what it was before.
You can customize it and reorder it.
Yes.
What I'm going to do is pull up I have my iPhone viewing app. I can do that. Yeah,
So that's the first
Can
thing.
you can add collections to this too, I guess.
Well, they changed something about the favorites because you were not able to find them and other people were not really able to find them either. So the favorites album is now also in the utilities collection. There's a utilities package and the favorites is now at the top of that. Before it was only in the pinned collections. And I was
That was frustrating.
a bit frustrating.
I
but,
spent a long time. So it was in pinned collections, but it's not there anymore. It's in utilities. Well,
it
why
should
would you
also
look
be in pinned
there?
collections.
Oh, it's also in the pin.
I think
Yeah, I
it's in
see
both.
favorites and utilities.
Yeah.
So yeah, they've just messed with the whole thing. They just messed with it all. So all right. Yeah, I will tell Lisa because neither of us. She said, "Where did the favorites go?" I said, "Well, they're right."
You know,
I don't know.
the other way to find favorites for me was to just use the search, type in what I want to find, and as a second word, type in FAV, and it brings you all the favorites.
Oh,
It does
okay,
that
that's
for
good
you.
to know. Okay.
So if you want all your favorite, I don't know, bug pictures, then that works.
Yeah, it's also as you said it's a pinned collection. That's not just me. That's everybody will be in the pinned collection. Okay.
So that's one change, which is a good change.
change.
Another one is that you can now sort your albums and you can sort them alphabetically by the date they were created and manually. So you can bring those albums in the order that you.
Oh, that's good because
kind
I
of
don't
want them.
usually want it in the alphabetical or chronological. I have an idea of what I want first.
But the old photos had that issue too, I think. So this one
is actually an improvement. Yeah.
Is a big improvement. Yes.
Good.
There are a few changes in the videos section. If you shoot a video and some of those videos would be in kind of would come up zoomed out, so with a black border around them. That's not happening any longer. There were auto looping, which is now off per default, which is good. If you're in a collection view, you can now swipe it off the screen as opposed to having to press the X button. So it's more intuitive.
So this
Video
is
scrubbing is more precise and
Good.
a few more things. But that's just the software. The camera, they changed
Let's talk
two
about
things
that.
about the camera, which I'm a great fan of. Your iPhone, if it has the always on screen, it goes to sleep and it turns that kind of to the dark version of the lock screen. And up to now, you had to press that camera button twice to first wake the phone up and then to start the camera. Now you can open the camera straight from that dark lock screen.
Oh, good. Okay.
So it opens it up right away, which was driving me crazy because I had to press twice and yeah. Now it's. If
I
you go
still
to
have to press and hold.
If you go to display and brightness and scroll all the way down in the settings, there is a require screen on.
I have to pull up my iPhone again so I can show this.
If you so in settings, display and brightness,
Yeah. All right.
and then require screen on.
Okay, hold on. Let me see. Let's go back to the phone. Phone in use, but it's not in use. Go away. Okay, now I'm not using it. I turned it face down, so I should be able to pick it up. There we go. Okay,
There we go.
There we go. So I'm going to go to settings, and then display and brightness.
All the way down, scroll down.
Yeah.
Require
Screen on.
Turn that one off.
Launching a camera app with camera control requires a screen to be on, though. Camera app with Oh, but I'm just using the regular camera. So require screen on. Now, if that's off, I can just press the button on the camera control button. It'll
And the camera
pick it up.
comes up right away.
Oh, that's a big improvement.
It is, isn't it?
Okay. I don't know why it says launching a camera app with camera control requires a screen to be on.
I have no idea why that was this way, but they changed it, and it's
So
it's a
you can
good
now
change.
require screen on, turn it off. And that's in the display and brightness in the settings.
It's a bit confusing, but if you turn that button off, the camera will come up when you expect it to come up by pressing the camera control button.
Which is okay. Just turn it off because that's what you want.
That's what you want.
That's what you want. Good. Very good. Thank you. What else?
And the second change, and that's one of my favorites. Have you ever used auto exposure, autofocus lock on something while taking a photo?
I'm trying to remember how you do that. You press and hold?
You tap on the screen. I do a long tap on the screen, and then this yellow square flashes, and then it locks the focus and the exposure, and then you can move the camera around, and the focus stays at that distance, and the exposure stays at that distance.
People do that all the time with regular cameras. It's nice to have that.
With regular cameras, you aim at something that you know that's my brightness, and then you recompose, and it doesn't
keep holding the button
anymore.
Down. Yeah.
You can now do this on the phone, and it's built in. You don't have to enable it. It's the camera control button lightly pressed. And if you lightly press that for a second, it'll go boom, boom, boom. The little square comes up. And now you can recompose, and it'll stay on that focus and on that exposure level until you let go.
Very handy. Have you used the new feature on the camera that lets you point at something and then it tells you what it is? Have you played with that?
I live in Germany, and we do not have Apple Intelligence just yet.
That's because of privacy requirements, and Germany is understandably very focused on privacy, but that is a limitation.
They are working on it. They said something about first quarter, so
Well, I'll do this. I'll take a picture of something. Here, I'll take a picture of my mouse. I'm going to take a picture of my mouse here. And I'll show you what happens, which is kind of interesting. If you press and hold, I don't know. I don't know why. For some reason, I'm getting my keyboard. I don't want the keyboard. Okay. Now I'm going to press and hold on the picture of the mouse, and it's going to give me a thing that says, oh no, the press and hold's not doing what I want it to do. What is it? Maybe it's the double tap. How do I get this?
It gets a bit confusing with all these new buttons.
There's too many features.
I'm at the point where I've started turning certain things off because I kept tripping things that I didn't want to. So
I was able to do this a while ago. The idea is that if you press and hold, but see what it's doing is it's shooting a video, which I don't want it to do. Well, anyway, you get two new buttons that say search and I think ask.
Only on Wednesdays in May.
Only on Wednesdays and not in Germany ever.
And not in Germany at this point.
It's very frustrating. Anyway, the search lets you search the internet using Google for whatever that is. So it's very much like Google Lens. It's not really much of a new feature. It was working earlier on TWiT.
But it's right at your fingertips, and that makes a big difference.
Yes. And for blind people and people with low vision, it's going to be, I now have 100 pictures of my mouse. It's going
to, you just buy the next bigger iCloud subscription.
Oh my goodness. I just did all sorts of things.
Need.
I don't know why it's not doing what it's supposed to do. I maybe misread the instructions. It did it earlier. Anyway, that's the idea is AI will then analyze what you're looking at.
Yeah.
Okay. What else is new?
Another piece of news. Let's do a little pivot over to the film world, to the world of film photography. Because believe it or not, film is alive and kicking. There's so much going on. For example,
you wrote the book, a very inspiring book on film photography, which I have.
Together with Monica, my other half, we wrote the Film Photography Handbook in 2017. I think it was released in 17.
And what's great about film photography? It never gets old.
The interesting thing is that we wrote this. We brought film photography into the modern world with modern tools and so on. And in the meantime, we have updated it twice, so it's on its third run with new information, and it's coming back even more now. The demand for film has doubled between 2015 and 2019.
What?
Yes. And it's
who's
still
making this film you speak of?
Kodak, for example, in Rochester, New York, they still make film. Of course they do. Oh. And Fuji makes film. But Kodak, interesting piece of news is they have paused film production during November. because, and I thought, oops, what happened? Are they stopping making film? No, they are not. They're doing factory upgrades.
Oh, they want to make better film.
Yes.
There's a bunch of different companies, Ilford and Kodak and Fuji and others.
That picture took over an hour to take.
Why?
If you look at the film boxes and rolls, they look very like randomly put there.
Yes.
No, I tried that. It didn't look nice. I had to
So
place
you had to arrange
every
them.
single one by hand, and it took ages until it looked like it was not.
Now, where do you are there new film cameras
Yes.
being made, or do you use a vintage camera?
So Kodak is upgrading the factory because film production volume is growing.
Unbelievable. That's
It's
amazing.
estimated to be over $7 billion globally. So film is here.
Kodak knew
And-
this all along.
And in June, Pentax released a new film camera, the Pentax 17,
Oh.
which shoots on 35 millimeter film. The little film rolls with 36 pictures on them, but it shoots half frame, so it shoots 72 pictures. And vertical. So this is this is seriously interesting because it's not for you and me. But it's for people who are used to vertical.
They
photos.
want, Instagram and actually Instagram's square. They want TikTok style.
And you get 72 pictures on a strip of
Sure.
film.
Makes it
It
cheaper.
has a wide angle lens on it. It
Sure.
does has an interesting zone focus system, different shooting modes, and so on. So
I went
pretty
out
cool.
and got a when I started all of this after reading your book. I went out and got a Leica that was an old one, an M3 that had been completely reconditioned by the factory. It was in great shape, and I was able to shoot with that, and a lot of lenses available on eBay for that. So you could look on eBay. I also went out and got a Rolleiflex because I always wanted the one where you shoot down and you turn the knob. But are they making new ones?
well, not those, but new film cameras. The Pentax 17 Rollei 35 AF is a lookalike of the old Rollei 35, but it has a LiDAR autofocus system in there.
my
a
God.
35 millimeter lens,
How
an OLED
funny.
display. So pretty much
Wow.
updated. Also not cheap. We're talking $800. So
And so are people going to photo processors? Are they doing their own processing?
both.
Because after you take the picture, you actually have to get it processed, developed, and printed.
Yeah, there are labs out there that do that for you. If it's color, it's probably a lab that's doing it. They will, of course, nowadays not only print your photos, they'll scan them for you. So you normally, before you get any prints back, you can also you already have a link for a download of your photos. So it's a fairly seamless process with most labs. And
So you get you actually still get a digital version of the image. It's just from film.
yeah.
Yeah.
But,
I mean, that's
but the-
better than getting prints because then you can make your own and you can process them further and so forth. Here's the petapixel review of the Pentax 17.
Yes.
That's a cool, actually a very nice looking camera.
That's a very retro camera.
Yeah. You could see the viewfinder is sideways.
But
'Cause-
the amazing thing is that now we have new cameras out there that are for film. We haven't had a new camera, like one that you can buy in a shop and you have a warranty on it and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, that's a good
we
point.
had to work with used cameras for
Right.
the longest time because no one was making them, and now they are starting to come back, and that is
Yay.
just amazing.
Yay. What film do you shoot with?
With black and white, I'm still a Tri-X fan. Kodak Tri-X
Yeah.
is
I
still
shot
one of my
Tri-X
favorite
for
films.
years, mostly because it was easy to process and I could actually process that myself.
Black and white is easy to do at
Yeah.
home.
That's and it's simple to print. And I had a little darkroom, and then I have to say the darkroom is a fun thing to have. This was 40 years ago.
You know, the thing is with film photography, it puts some limitations on you. It doesn't give you all the million options that you have
Right.
with digital. And this way, you can concentrate on the creative part of photography so much more because you don't have to go in all to the tech detail.
Right.
That's one thing about film photography. The other thing is it slows you down, and slowing down is something nowadays, people don't slow down. They are always online. They're always looking at their phone. I do too.
Yeah.
But when I take a film camera, I'm in a different
You have
world.
to think about it.
It takes me out of the everyday. And that's just brilliant. And then
not the least of which is in the back of your head, you're thinking, this 50 cents a shot.
And then yes.
I think about that.
But then the next interesting thing is you come home and you don't have to go through 1 million of photos that you took that day.
Yeah,
you have
that's
to
true.
go through 36, 72. So you are not building up that hill, that mountain of photos that you will later have to make decisions on and so on. No, you make those decisions while you shoot, because yes, you know it's not for free, and yes, you know it's limited. So you end up with a smaller selection, and all I can say is it makes you quite content with photography. It's a very happy feeling to be shooting film.
All right, you made your pitch. I'm staying with digital. Sorry. Actually, there's one more thing to talk about, because when you use this Pentax, for instance, you're getting half the resolution because it's only half the 35 millimeter frame. There are people who are shooting larger than 35 millimeter frame. They call that medium and large format, right?
Yes.
We talked a few months ago about the Intrepid.
We talked about Intrepid, which is a UK manufacturer of large format cameras, and so we're looking at, this is the 35 millimeter size. Oh. This is the medium format size, so it's bigger. It has more surface per picture, and if you look at you'd almost say more pixels, except there aren't pixels really in film. If you look at large format, so here's the medium format. Yeah, this is large format.
Oh,
this is one negative of large format in one of these cassettes.
One cassette,
that's the size
two
of
shots.
A large format negative. And then on the other side, there's another one.
You get 2 shots.
And
that's all.
And they're protected by these dark slides, and you carry several of these cassettes with you, and then you might take, 5 pictures a day.
Yeah,
but you take your time. So this slows you really down. This makes you,
if that's what you're going for. Yeah.
And they're a bit more expensive, so you put a lot more care into each picture, but the yield is so much higher because you end up with, like, out of 5 pictures, 4 good pictures, because you put all that effort in. And you
see, that would be what I would be nervous about, is that I wouldn't, because my ratio now with digital is like 1 in 20. Maybe 1 in 50.
Which is pretty good.
Maybe 1 in 100. I'm being optimistic. Now we're talking, you don't have that luxury.
But you don't need it, because you will take more time and you will think
about it. And
everything like
matters.
3 times. So Intrepid, and they're an interesting bunch. They started with cameras made from plywood, pretty much.
Look at this.
Relatively cheap cameras, and they have improved their quality over the years, and they have now built something that hasn't been available as new, and that is a lens for a large format camera, and that is a shutter for a large format camera. Ooh. Let me show you a shutter and a lens. This is what a large format lens looks like. So there's these glass elements as in a normal lens. There's the same on the back. If you open up your 35 millimeter lenses, they look similar-ish on the inside. But then in the middle, you see this little thing with numbers on it? That is the shutter. Your cameras have their shutter where the film is, or where the sensor is, right in the back. There's one shutter, and then the lenses don't have a shutter. In large format photography, the lenses come with shutters, and they are little clockworks. So let me just cock this shutter and expose it and listen.
What a satisfying click.
That was a photo.
That's nice.
Let's do another one, because
it's all mechanical.
Sound different.
It's not. Yeah.
Here we go. That was 1/4 of a second. So cameras up to sometime in the 60s, let's say early 70s, often had lenses with shutters, not just large format, but all cameras pretty much. And
the shutter wasn't in the body, it was in the lens.
So every lens needed its own shutter.
Oh, which is interesting.
made it more expensive. And then the Japanese pretty much flooded the markets. They brought the SLRs, the single lens reflex cameras, which had a focal plane shutter, a shutter where the sensor or the film is. And that killed the German camera industry pretty much.
Oh, no.
So that's a very interesting development back there. But a large format camera is
Look at that. It's
interesting, huge-looking beast, but it's a very simple contraption. Let me put the lens in.
So we go back to the days of the shutter being in the lens, because really the camera itself is just a bellows and a backplane for the film.
That's all it is. It is just, if I can get it in, if it is just a front standard that has the lens on it.
It's just something to hold the lens and keep it parallel.
And the back standard is what holds the film. So that cassette goes in here.
Wow.
And then you focus by moving that front standard. If you can see me changing the distance. So the way you focus is by changing the distance. The lens doesn't do the focusing, the camera does. And then all you do is you cock the shutter, you pull out this dark slide where the film is in, and then you expose, put that dark slide back, and that's you taking a photo. Wow. Of course, this happens. Sorry, go ahead.
Now I understand why Intrepid's focusing so much on the shutter and the lens. I didn't really get it, but this is the real mechanical part of the camera. The rest of it is just a box, basically.
Pretty much a box with some gears and some dials and things to set the distance and to keep the precision. But all my shutters and my lenses are used. Even if I wanted to, I couldn't buy a new shutter. I couldn't buy a new lens. Now, Intrepid has just they raised a lot of money on their Kickstarter for that. So they're in the process of making these now.
Oh, yay. And it wasn't expensive. $189. Oh, that's the lens. The shutter and lens is
still not expensive.
Yeah.
Still not expensive. They sell you a bundle with a camera, like one of these, with a lens and with a shutter. And by the way, this is not a mechanical shutter you get from them. This is an electronic shutter. So you have a control, a rechargeable lithium-ion battery in there. You can set the speed and everything, and the thing works electrically and very, very precise.
So if you wanted to get into this large format, there it is, 729 pounds. That's actually, they have raised already 150,000 pounds. Maybe I must be on the UK version. I think I clicked your link, so I'm on there. If I log in, maybe it'll bring me to my country.
Probably. But yeah, they are really they're building a whole infrastructure. You can actually take one of their cameras now and move it this way so the lens points down, and instead of the film on the back, you put on an LED light by them, and now you have an enlarger. Now you can put this in the dark room and make huge prints from your large form negatives.
So it's both the enlarger and the camera.
Of course, the enlarger and the camera is pretty much the same thing.
It's the same thing. So, yeah, that's what. Yeah, of course.
The one collects light, the other throws light.
Yeah.
So it's an amazing development there, and we see this here. We do large format and film photography workshops here at home, and we offered a large format workshop for spring next year. Sold out within a couple of days. So
people really are interested.
Just opened a second one. It's not as old folks. It's a lot of younger people who are really interested in how this works and what it can do to your photography.
Well, and these large format negatives have a certain quality to them that's pretty amazing.
Have you ever held a large format slide in your hand?
No.
So again, the size. This is 4 by 5 inches, and it's tough. Even I don't think it's really possible right now to get large format slide film, or it's super expensive. But a slide in that size held up to the light. You remember the days when you had these little 35mm slides and you looked at them with a little magnifying thing. A large format slide is just it's magic. It's absolutely magic.
Wow.
So that let's hope they bring large format slide film back. I would love that.
Oh, so there is no slide film now that you could use. And film doesn't keep; it goes bad. So
yeah, you will. Yeah. You can put film in the freezer and prolong its lifespan a bit. But then sometimes I like shooting with film that's way over its best before date, and you get interesting results. The colors shift.
It's unpredictable though. That's the problem,
contrasts
right?
change, and that's unpredictable, and that adds a bit of a surprise factor. So nothing wrong with that.
All right.
So yeah.
All right. Very exciting.
I have one more from the analog world.
Okay.
How do you take a screenshot?
Command Shift 3 or Command Shift 4 on my Mac, right? On my iPhone, I press the start and the volume up button, I think, something like that.
Now put yourself in the year 1975. How do you take a screenshot?
You use a camera, you take a picture of it.
Yeah, but have you ever tried to take a picture of a CRT monitor?
Yeah, well, that was one of the problems in 1998 at Tech TV. We couldn't easily get the screens from your computer into the TV, so we had a camera operator pointing his video camera. But you have all sorts of problems. You can't pull focus because you get moire. It's
and
weird.
You have the lights, and they reflect off the screen, and the CRT screen is round, so it reflects more light.
It's a real problem. Yeah.
Now, back then, for things like labs and electron microscopes and things, they actually sold a device called a screen shooter, which allowed you to take an SLR and take pictures of the screen. I sent you a photo of that. So
this is the funniest thing ever.
This is the funniest thing ever because, of course, what you want is a steady connection with the screen. You want to keep the light out. So what do? You build a hood, a cone-shaped hood that attaches to the screen on one side and to the camera on the other side, and then you get a almost pristine photo from straight on without any reflections. It's a pretty. I think it was a game changer back then, but I mean, look at that.
This is an Atari. I recognize the computer he's using. It's an Atari 800, which is one of the computers I started early on with. Late 70s, maybe early 80s. And he's got a hood. Wow. It was only $169, folks.
Cheap, isn't it?
$169 in 1980 or 1982 is probably more expensive than buying the medium format camera.
Probably.
In its entirety. Oh, but you do get a Polaroid one-step 600 camera with bracket.
Is the camera included?
Oh, that can't
it includes a hood, yeah.
It says it does include a Polaroid one-step, but then it also would hold SLRs with a second bracket. That is
so.
Crazy.
Of course, a different monitor will then need a different hood. So
that's right. It's
sold
it's
one
specific
for each
to the hood.
Monitor. But isn't that hilarious?
Holy cow!
So film photography. I'm glad we don't have to do this anymore. I've talked to someone who did who hooked up a computer to a CRT with a special device that would convert that moving electron beam into pixels, and but yeah, it took a while until this was possible, and the screen shooter was definitely cheaper. So,
Chris Marquardt, always a pleasure. You're so much fun, and you're always inspiring. You always make me want to go out and take pictures. In fact, I hope everybody who's watching is inspired to take pictures that are intricate or of intricacy, or I don't know, whatever intricate means to you. And you know what? Points if you do it in film. And then you'll have to say, though, in the Flickr comments, this is shot on film. This is his book from Rocky Nook, but I think the best way to get it is to go to discoverthetopfloor.com.
You get it anywhere. Just get it in the shop.
Okay. I don't think we have bookstores in America anymore, but I'm thinking. I don't know.
I think you still have bookstores. I think you do.
I have to rewrite this because it's no longer forgotten. It is now intricate.
And by the way, as you just mentioned, Discover the Top Floor, there are interesting things up there. So we're doing the Eastern European Electric Photo Road Trip next year again.
Exciting.
And it's 2 rounds. The first one goes from Berlin to Dresden to Prague, to Vienna, to Budapest, and to Transylvania, all in the stretch of 10 days. So we're doing a road trip and we stop at the different places and cities. That first one is sold out, but the second one going the same route, but in reverse order, that is still open. So that's early May.
3 spots left, though, so don't take too long.
There we go.
If you want to go on the Eastern European Photo Road Trip. That is the beautiful Parliament in Budapest, I believe.
Such a building. What a building.
You know, the way to see that is on a boat at night going down
We're
the
shooting
river.
it at night.
It
not
lights
from
up.
the river. We need a steady.
Yeah, they
steady
light it
place for
up
the camera.
so incredibly. It's so beautiful.
It's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah, somewhere I have photos of that because we did a riverboat trip some time ago. And it was really something else. It's really beautiful. Oh, how fun. So you get to Budapest. You probably get to Prague, right?
Prague is in there. Vienna is in there.
Oh, Vienna.
Berlin. And then Transylvania, the old castles, the fairy tale castles in Transylvania and Romania. So,
Chris, have a great trip. We'll see you in January. We'll see you in the new year. So have a wonderful Christmas and New Year. And do you Christmas is Germany's where Christmas began. So, so I know you guys know how to do Christmas. I hope you're going to have a wonderful time. No candles on the tree, though. Okay.
No, not even a proper tree, actually.
Really? Oh, now you're disappointing me. Now
Ours is wooden. Ours is wooden, but it's one that you can fold up and use again.
Here is. I'll just show you one of my pictures from Budapest at night. Coming. I think this is actually being from the.
That's one of the bridges.
Yeah, there's the bridges and there's the Parliament on the left, and they light everything up. So it is
that from
spectacular.
up there, Fisherman's Bastion.
That might be. I don't know where we were. Yeah, we're somewhere high, aren't we? I have river pictures as well, but you got to get going, and I have to get going, and we've done the show, so I'll just save those for another time. Thank you, Mr. Marquardt. DiscoverTheTopFloor.com is the place to go. Get his books. Sign up for the Eastern European road trip. There are 3 spots
Eastern
left.
European Electric Photo Road Trip.
Electric Photo.
Got to be a complicated
Electric
acronym.
Photo Road Trip. The EEPRT. Erpt.
You missed an E, but that's okay.
EEE. Thank you, Chris Marquardt. DiscoverTheTopFloor.com. We will see you next time. Everybody, take pictures of Intrepid and post them on Flickr. See you later. Auf Wiedersehen, my friend.
Bye-bye.